You know, there are some days where you have to redo a video or do a second part because they've brought out a second edition of a beer. Or in this case, a beer. Kronk 2.0. No, you don't get to have any. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another alcohol review. This one is from Cold Garden, and it is the Kronk 2.0. Now, it's a compound sarsaparilla alcoholic beverage, which they used to call a beer, coming in at 4% alcohol by volume. Now, this is the modern day version of it. They recently made a recipe out of the first Kronk that they saw. There's a recipe that came out and everything else. If you want to learn more about that one, click here or here for my review of Kronk 1.0. Now I'm looking at Kronk 2.0 today, and yeah, apparently it tastes better. I've heard better reviews about this. So let's get into it. I'm using my Oakcast glass today, and a little bit of history. Oakcast used to contract brew out of Cold Garden. They had their own one vat system, and they moved on to some other places that they contract brew out of until they finally found their own location, which is just over a year old now.
Stay on target. Listen up!
But we're here talking about this drink right here, which is a little hazy, got a light copper color, and hardly any head on it whatsoever. The smell of it, you do have that licorice sort of sarsaparilla smell. We're going to have a chat about you coming and going. So yeah, you do have that smell that I recognize from the 1.0, but it's not as prominent. It actually smells a little bit different. You have a sarsaparilla with a touch of a licorice on there. Still smells like a Kronk though. All right, cheers everybody. You know, that's not half bad. Now, in my older review, I did say that you had to take the good with the bad. Being that it was over a 120-year-old recipe, there was going to be a variety of tastes that you would not expect in a drink. Didn't make it taste bad, but it didn't make it taste good either. This one, they put their own spin on it, and I'm not quite sure what they did. They made it more modern somehow. I'll link a description down in the comment or in the description area of what they changed, because I'm not quite sure, but it doesn't have that medicinal sort of outgoing taste that left you not wanting more. This one is a little lighter in flavor. It's not as bold, but it leaves you wanting to try more to see if you could recognize or even have some sort of understanding of what those flavors are. Now, coming in again at $8 for a small 375 milliliter bottle, I'm not overly... I wish it wasn't a lot, because this is a lot for a 4% alcoholic beverage. I understand that there's some different things that you had to use in here that have a higher cost. But at the same token, the cost is still a little too much for me. I can't explain the taste. The taste does have a little sarsaparilla on it, does have a little touch of licorice on there, but it disappears so quickly that I'm not quite sure how to really define the flavor other than unique. The bubbles in there, carbonation is light. The alcohol that is supposed to be present is very, very, very well hidden. It's almost like drinking a very weak, soapy sarsaparilla in a way. That's the way I can think of it. But you don't get that sort of soapy, you get it more of a flowery flavor, which is odd. Yeah, the flavor dissipates really quickly off of there. I got a small grain in there. Interesting. However, would I buy this again? Not at that price. Would I try it again? If it was cheaper, yes. I really do enjoy it. Like it's a very unique drink. I can't really call it a beer. You really can't call it a beer. You could call it an alcoholic beverage, that's for sure, because it does have alcohol in there. But I don't think I would actually go out of my way to buy this again. I've tried it twice. I've enjoyed it. The first time was very much different, but it still was good to try something that was made 120 years ago, even though the ingredients are a little different because there's some stuff you can't find that you could find back then. It is an experience that I personally am glad I got to try. I know a lot of people out there were excited about this, and it sold out really quickly on the first round. And the second round sounded like it didn't sell as much because of all the bad reviews, or the ones that didn't like it. Honestly, I can understand why you didn't like it, but at least you got to try a piece of history. That right there is worth it for the 1.0. However, for the 2.0, drop the price a little bit. Probably would have been a little bit better. For price-wise, anyways. But again, what went into it probably cost a lot more. So the price might have been around there too. Overall, I'm glad I got to try it, but I think I'm done with this series. I don't think I would be trying it if they came out with a third or fourth version. I've had my fill of it. I'm good. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. Again, Cold Garden, thank you very much for actually producing it and making your own version of it, more modern version of it. I enjoyed the modern more than I enjoyed the older version, but the older version I enjoyed more because it was drinking a piece of history. Till next time, I am Dan, aka the Western Canadian Reviewer, saying cheers, stay frosty, we'll see you real soon. Thanks again for joining, and please like, comment, subscribe. I would like to hear your thoughts down below. I'm glad I got to try it. I'm not going to lie, I'm glad I got to try it. And I will be finishing this off. It's got alcohol, why not? Till next time, have a great night, be safe out there, and please, by all means, let me know your thoughts. Cheers again. You know, sometimes there are beers out there that you need to review for a second time. Especially when there's a 2.0 version. Yeah, I'm talking the cat. Are you okay that I'm talking to? No! Get off the table. I'm sitting here. Come on. Oy vey. What am I going to do with you? Thanks. Thanks for that. Thanks ever so much. Let's try this again.